Welcome to Allie's Attic Show, where you never know what kind of surprise you're going to find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is amazing. She is an eighth-year touring CMA country recording artist from New Jersey. Please welcome Nikki Briar. Hello, Nikki.
Hello there. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm well. Thanks for coming on. So you must be a busy lady. You have two baby boys at home right now?
Yes. Yep. I have a 1-year-old and a 4-month-old, and we've got a house full of rescue pets that we have. We have 6 animals and a husband. So yeah, it's a house full of chaos.
Yeah, no kidding. And you're an army wife to top it all off.
Yeah.
So basically,
in the military.
Yeah. Well,
for 15 years.
15 years. Well, that's crazy. Well, tell him thank you so much for. I'm Canadian, but tell him thank you so much for serving his country.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, start us off on your journey. When did you decide that you wanted to be a singer-songwriter?
Well, it really all goes back to the first time that I started talking. I actually had a speech impediment when I was a baby, and I wasn't delayed in speech per se, but I just had a hard time articulating words. And with both of my parents being musicians, it was kind of like, well, what kind of intervention would they take? And and everybody just kind of said, well, it takes time, and I have an older brother, so I would always try to copy the things that he did. But it was really, music was just in our house, so there didn't seem to be much concern because I was singing and learning lyrics to songs at 18 months, but yet, if you were having a conversation with me, you'd be like, well, what did she say? I don't even know what she said. And so it really was music that helped me through my speech impediment. And then as I got older and went through speech therapy and then started taking voice lessons, that got me out of that, situation. So at a very young age, music was just part of my life. My father was a touring Motown drummer. He performed with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and he would open up for artists such as Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett between Atlantic City, Las Vegas, Puerto Rico. So he was touring all over. My mother was a classical piano player, and so literally that was just, my life was just music.
That is cool. What your dad,
first
Frankie Valli, holy.
Yeah, they were neighborhood friends. They grew up in the same area in New Jersey. So if Frankie Valli's drummer wasn't available, my father would fill in, and then he had his own band that he was touring with as well. But to this day, I just love hearing the story that my father has to tell about music back in the day.
I would imagine.
Yeah, because it was so different, and it's just amazing to hear his stories. It was just it was kind of cool. And now, as I've gotten older and become a musician and stuff myself, I kind of appreciate it more, because when I was little, I was like, oh yeah, that's, I guess everyone's father does things like this. I didn't appreciate it the way that I do now, and realize the effect that it had, in my guidance for music. So that's where music always started, literally from birth. But country music came into the picture. I started learning guitar around 12, 13, and I really liked Leanne Rimes and Shania Twain, but I never thought, hey, they're country artists. I just liked their music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got introduced to Garth Brooks, and again, just, I love that music, but I never, attributed it to being country music. It was just music. So, growing up in New Jersey, there was really hardly any of my peers that were country fans. So we were always going to Backstreet Boys and Hanson and Spice Girl concerts, which was great. I loved them too.
Yeah.
But I never told anybody, oh, by the way, I like Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, and Leanne Rimes, because nobody else among my peers knew who they were or maybe, listened to them. So I just kind of kept it to myself. And then I started playing the drums like my father, piano, guitar. And, just as a creative kid, I would do musical theater. I would do, shows and stuff. But it never really filled my heart as to that's what I want to do, Broadway or something. It was fun, but it was never exactly, and growing up right outside of New York City, I had access to that. And I go on auditions and I do all the stuff, but something about it was just not fulfilling enough to me. Mm-hmm. And when I went to college, I was going to Seton Hall University, and I majored in education and music. And at that time, I met my husband. We were dating and stuff. And I found out he was in the Army. And he's like, well, I know you do music and everything, and I would love for you to sing the national anthem for some of my military ceremonies, and that would help me, get a really good reputation, like my girlfriend is singing, and, for the general, the commander. And I said, yeah, of course I'll do it. I love singing the national anthem, and it became a real big thing for me after 9/11. Yeah. I was asked to sing the anthem for so many different ceremonies for, people who had passed away. So I said, yeah, I'd love to do for the military, for the Army. And we were doing it for one of their ceremonies, and a soldier came up to me and said, wow, I really like your version of the national anthem. It's very, clean cut. And I like that it's got a little twang to it. And I started laughing, and I said, twang? I'm from New Jersey. What are you talking about, twang? And he's like, well, I'm from Tennessee, and you got twang. And I would never think that you were from New Jersey. So, did you ever think of going to Tennessee, going to Nashville? I said, no, I'm in college. My boyfriend is going to be deployed to Iraq. I can't. What do you mean Nashville? It never crossed my mind. And he said, well, look, while he's in Iraq, you're going to have a lot of time on your hands. So if you are interested, let me know, and I'll hook you up with some people that I know in Nashville. Wow. And I kind of blew it off. I was just like, what's a Jersey girl going to do in Nashville? But once he deployed to Iraq, it just stuck in my mind, everything that he said, and he was right. I had a whole year to, finish school, finding a job, and just to keep yourself busy and occupied in that situation. I was songwriting, but again, I never categorized my songwriting as, okay, this song I'm writing is going to be a country song. It was basically me just writing poetry and picking up the guitar and putting a melody to it. And when I decided to contact the soldier in Tennessee, he said, all right, I'm going to, hook you up with some people. And the first song that I ended up writing with one of his friends in Nashville was based on the story that I was telling, and one of my email addresses, which is A Soldier's Princess. Oh. And we just co-wrote, back and forth on the internet and Skype and stuff. And then he said, well, you got to come here to Nashville to record. That's one part of the deal is we're writing together, but you have to come here to record. And I said, okay. So I took the trip, 16 hours to Nashville, and we recorded 4 or 5 songs. So The Soldier's Princess was the main song that we were focusing on. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we did it, and came back to New Jersey, and I wasn't sure what the next step would really be. You know, they set me up with photo shoots and do this, do that, and the production, they were amazing. And I said, okay, I really like this. This is really cool. Like I feel comfortable doing this. And a couple months later, Soldier's Princess was available on iTunes and everywhere. And the producer called me and said, hey, I got great news. I submitted a Soldier's Princess to a local radio station here in Tennessee, and they loved it. And not only are they playing it, but they're sending it to their overseas radio station where they specifically stream music for veterans that are deployed.
Oh my God.
And I said, wow, like that got me very emotional.
Yeah.
And got me in touch with the radio station. We did interviews and stuff, and I said, hey, by the way, my boyfriend, and then turned fiance, is overseas. He's finishing up his deployment. So he actually was able to hear my song for the first time while he was deployed in Iraq. So it was a really cool, I guess bittersweet and meant to be kind of situation. And when he came back and I finished up college and everything, slowly but surely I decided this was the route that I was going to take. So I was a teacher for about 6-7 years. I taught special ed, and then I taught second grade, and I loved it. And I always did music with the kids. And I saw how music helped their education with kids that had a hard time like me with speech, maybe were shy, children with special needs. The music really helped kids in general. And I remember how much it helped me.
Yeah.
And I said, as much as I love being an educator, I now have these producers and these radio stations interested in what else do you have? What else do you have? Like, you can't just put out one song and one single. What else do you have? So it became a day job and a night job. So I started performing. I started touring. I started investing. And, after 7 years of teaching, I decided, let me focus on the music because it's gotten so big that I literally can't do both.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to take time off from teaching and focus strictly on music. So this is my 8th year now doing strictly, music. And I just released my 6th single, and it's been an amazing journey. But I pretty much, not only thank my parents for filling my life with music and for it helping me in so many ways, but I thank my husband because if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for the military, if it wasn't for, that, being at the right place at the right time situation, I don't know how music would be in my life today in a different way.
Exactly. Now you're also under GS Cowgirl Records.
Yeah, so that's actually a record label that my husband and I started. So he decided to support me the way I support him with the military, and he said, "Well, we're going to create our own label. We're going to do our own LLC, and we're going to go into business. We're going to make this, the best possible thing that we could, because I guess being from New Jersey and being from the East Coast, it's a very fast-paced life. You have to be careful with who you trust, who you work with, and there's no better person to work with than your family and your husband. And we did it ourselves. So we said, you know what, let's do this, and we're going to be serious about it, and to be taken serious about it. And so we created our own label, our own LLC, we have our own band, our own, musicians that, travel and tour with us. So, it's been a business, that we've invested in, and I couldn't do it without him. And now having two babies, I thought, well, how is this going to work? But we've continued to, continue to do it. So
well, that's awesome.
I just literally couldn't do it without him.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you perform over 200 shows a year. You just released your 6th single entitled Thank You, and your 7th will be released in the new year. And you recently hit 15,000 Spotify streams on the new single. Now, you're also an animal lover. We were talking a little bit about that before you started. You've got a lot of rescues, and you also are vegetarian, vegan, and the people that you've toured with or opened for is just crazy. Like Tim McGraw, Rodney Atkins, Parmalee, Chris Jansen, The Outlaws, Lori Morgan, Cassidy Pope, Danielle Bradbury, Lindsay L., Billy Currington, Locash, Chase Bryant, Granger Smith, Walker McGuire, Jacob Davis, Dylan Schneider, Blackberry Smoke, Lee Bryce, Blackjack Billy, Outshine, and Big Country. That's quite the list.
And it's funny too, because one of the first shows that we played was, and I'm talking about like almost 10 years ago. That was with Big Country, and I was like, "Oh, Big Country! Oh, yeah." And I thought it was country music, and then I meet the guys and I hear the song, and I'm like, "Oh, it's these guys from the United Kingdom," and they have their popular song Big Country from like the 70s, 80s, and it was funny because we were actually originally titled like a Southern rock, like that was kind of what I was labeled as, more of a Southern rock, like rock and country artist, which makes sense because I'm from the East Coast and I have a lot of the blues rock kind of feel to the songs. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the first concerts we did with them, and then after that it just kind of snowballed into all of these amazing national artists. And Tim McGraw, that was pretty wild. We performed with him at Taste of Country in upstate New York, with Billy Currington, and that was really wild. That was an amazing experience. And I was just with Lindsay L. last weekend. She was amazing and so nice, and it's just been like I said, to go from being somebody who grew up, around all different types of music and just having tons of respect for music and musicians and all type of artists in general. It's not an easy life. I saw it firsthand with my father traveling, and it's not easy, for so many reasons, because the stability is all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so I just, it's been an honor to perform with so many people that I look up to, and to songwrite with some of these people, and just kind of like take it all in. Like I'm from New Jersey. Like this is not your typical, Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen type of story. That's not.
Well, it's an amazing story.
There's not many of us around here, so it's kind of really cool.
It is. It's totally cool. Now, if you had any advice to give an artist, Nikki, based on what you've gone through, and I mean, your story's amazing, what kind of advice do you think you would give them?
Well, the biggest advice is, and really literally the biggest advice is that in this business, and I call it business because, we are running a business, as much as I love music, but, I always have to remind myself, after a certain time in the day, as busy as I am with the babies and I have the benefit of being a stay-at-home mom with them, and they travel with us. They've, been to Nashville. They've been everywhere with us, so far, but I have to remind myself after a certain time, I have to, close the door and I have to get to work. I got to start working on a new song. I have to, contact, venues, and we do all of our own booking. We do all of our own touring. We do have sponsors that help us. We do our own merchandise, along with a company in Illinois called Whiskey River Dry Goods Company that helps us. So, like, I have to remind myself, this is work.
Yeah.
It's fun, it's amazing, but when you're asked to write a song and you have a deadline, you have to get it done.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing is, like, you need to work. You can't expect it to be like, oh, all right, I can sing, I can do this, and it's just going to happen overnight. That's usually not how it happens.
Yeah,
There's
not very
some
often.
success stories, but you have to work, and which means then you have to love it. So you have to acknowledge the fact that if you want to be part of the music business, it's a lifelong thing. You might never, get recognition until you've done it for 12 years.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you have to accept that.
Yeah.
So you have to love it. You have to go into it just kind of saying, I love it. I love performing. I love people. And if something happens, it happens. If I don't become the next Carrie Underwood, oh well, because I love it and it doesn't matter. So there's a lot of teenagers and kids that I taught that come to our shows, and they ask me the same thing. And I tell them, go to school, get an education. Don't stop, with that. I didn't do the whole, go to New York City and get, a regular job and stuff. Like, I went to college and I had student loans. Like, I did all of that. And you got to get an education, that you have to. And obviously with 2 kids, I'm teaching them. You follow your dreams, but you have to have an education first.
Yeah.
I don't care what your dream is, whether you want to be, an architect, an electrician, whatever. That's great. You're going to school. And that's what my parents said to me.
Well,
it's great. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You're going to school.
It's great advice. What 2 songs are we going to hear from you, Nikki?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's that?
What 2 songs are we going to hear from you?
Oh, the 2 songs that we're going to do are the 5th song that got released is called I Know Where I'm Going Now. Mm-hmm. And the one that followed up to that one on the EP is my recent one called Thank You, which is, the 6th song. And that was a really fun song to do, and I didn't actually expect it to get the reaction that it got, because we got a little silly with that song. We were trying to write a little female Kenny Chesney beach bonfire kind of song, and I thought, well, I don't know how the audience is going to react to that, and it just took off. So I was actually really proud to hear that Spotify ended up featuring it as a new country track, and then to reach so many followers and streams, it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love the song. I love both your songs.
Thank you.
You can purchase your music anywhere online. You also have a website, and I'm going to spell it out for everybody so they can find you. It's NikkiBriar.com, but it's NikkiBriar.com, so you can go and find out more about Nikki. And Nikki, thank you so much for sharing your story and your advice. And I believe in the same thing. You have to love it. It has to be a business, but you also have to have an education. You always need something to fall back on. So thank you.
And I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your platform and in helping, artists get exposure. So it's been an honor to talk with you, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. And I'd love to add your songs to Allie's Amplified Attic. That's like you.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. Okay. Well, like I said, anything new happens, get a hold of me. Let me know. Your new song comes out. Send it to me. And I wish you the best success.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Allie. It was great to talk to you.
You too. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep checking my website or my YouTube channel because you never know what kind of surprises you're going to find in my attic. Cheers!
A 40-hour week is sufficient for me. Friday couldn't come fast enough. Just a minute more, I'll be out the door. The day is over, but the night has just begun. Thank you, Jesus, for the whiskey. Thank you, Jesus, for the beer. Thank you for wine only some of the time to start my long weekend. In Jesus' name, amen. In Jesus' name, amen. Johnny loves his shots, Mary talks a lot, Billy has a pickup line for every girl he meets. My favorite song is on, everyone's singing along. Free falling, free falling, free. Thank you, Jesus, for the whiskey. Thank you, Jesus, for the beer. Thank you for wine only some of the time to start my long weekend. In Jesus' name, we head downtown and order around anywhere. Right before we drink, we raise a glass and say this little prayer. Thank you, Jesus, for whiskey. Thank you, Jesus, for beer. Thank you for wine only some of the time to start my long weekend. Oh, thank you, Jesus, for the whiskey. Thank you, Jesus, for the beer. Thank you for wine only some of the time to start my long weekend. In Jesus' name, amen. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh yeah. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh, in Jesus' name, amen. I went to church like I was told, 'cause Mama said we all get old and we gotta know where we're going. Pretending like I cared, and I said my prayers. Every Sunday, same old pew, same old preacher with the same old view. You walked in, that's when I knew it. Call it a crazy upside down. You turn my world